Well, of course, post-Brexit, the UK with a much more global outlook rather than a little European EU one, having the freedom to strike global deals. And of course, we've seen deals done, for instance, with Australia and New Zealand and Singapore and Japan. And of course, we saw the AUKUS done with our great allies, the US and Australia. But this is a pretty big deal. The UK is set to join the CPTPP trade bloc, membership of Japan, Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. Now, at time of recording, this hasn't been officially 100% confirmed, but there was this report on Politico that the UK will be the first new nation to join CPTPP since it was set up, with chief negotiators and senior officials agreeing that Britain has met the high bar to join the CPTPP, according to 4 people speaking to Politico. One of those welcoming this news was Lord Frost, who described it as a very important piece of post-Brexit positioning for Britain, and it should be said that Liz Truss deserves a lot of the credit. This has been massively welcomed by Shankar Singham of the IEA there, saying UK accession to the CPTPP would be a seismic geo-economic event. For the first time, a major G7 country has chosen to accede to a regional grouping, not because it's part of that region, but because it represents liberal values and provides economic opportunities, describing it as much more than a regional agreement. And if the UK then helps accelerate the possibility of the US rejoining, it'd become a grouping spanning around half of the global economy, also describing CPTPP as a bulwark against Chinese market distortions. Now, the wider context to this is, as Singham again writes for The Telegraph, this would make it a lot harder for hardcore, hardline rejoiners to push for the UK to rejoin the EU. Now, of course, that's a massively fringe position anyway. But as he points out in this article, this wouldn't have been possible if the UK was still inside the EU, and that the pact requires the UK having control over its own regulatory system, and that dynamic alignment of UK regulations with the EU would not be feasible, describing accession as a huge triumph for UK negotiators and to mark the point at which Brexit could not be reversed. So potentially huge news here with Britain joining the CPTPP. As ever, I will keep bringing you the very latest on this and more, guys. So please do whack this video a quick thumbs up. And of course, as ever, cheers for watching.